We installed a network of sensors in front of apartments. When the door's sensor registers people leaving the apartment in violation of the rules, we're alerted. District staff and the health department are then informed and can respond quickly.
What's technologically possible is carried out with little regard for people's privacy. Criticism or resistance among the population is virtually non-existent.
We've mapped the residential buildings in the district. Which ones are occupied? Where there are vacancies? Where elderly people are living alone? Where care or help is needed? It's all stored in our system and can be called up in real time.
Even those who do not dispose of their trash properly are recorded. Residents who aren't following the rules are captured on camera from 3 different angles.
Wow. Show me you're living in a technocratic nightmare without telling me you're living in a technocratic nightmare. By the way, these are the things that politicians here in the United States are building for you while they distract you with absolute nonsense so you don't see it coming. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Ukradowski here of wearechange.org. And of course, some people have called this already the Build Back Better Great Reset Plan, which surely is creating a lot of havoc, not just here in the United States, but internationally all over the world. We're going to be talking about that. Roving blackouts, burnouts, the suppression of speech, destruction of political discourse, and obliteration of any upward financial mobility for the average Joe. What's happening here? Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. It's also going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. This, of course, as the Great Reset literally has the best PR and marketing in the game, using supposed fact checkers that literally are acting like propaganda pushers. Recently, on some of my social media accounts, I was officially fact checked about the most ridiculous claims and assertions that, of course, are not true, leaving the larger question, who fact checks the fact checkers? Well, no one. They're not fact checkers. They're propaganda pushers that, of course, want to silence any kind of legitimate criticism of the establishment and the very powerful people that pay them to exist in our society. They are Orwellian in nature and only regurgitate the approved talking points, narratives, and agenda that very powerful people want you believing in. And, of course, this censoring of information is all being done for political purposes, as we have recently seen with Libs of TikTok, a very popular Twitter account that just highlights accounts, videos, and photos of other individuals. It literally just highlights the insanity of our modern day society, and because of that, it's been attacked by very powerful institutions like the Washington Post, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, a man very well connected to the CIA, and today we are actually seeing leaked chats between Twitter employees with what to do with this very popular account, Libs of TikTok. You could see some Twitter employees actually talk about a potential mass exodus and eroding the trust of the platform by banning an account that literally puts up a mirror to some of the craziest people in our society. One employee even remarking we could ban the President of the United States, we could ban Libs of TikTok, providing some important commentary here to what Project Veritas recently exposed as absolute political bias at this company, whose employees routinely admit that they censor people because of their political viewpoints, not because they violated any kind of vague terms and services. Elon Musk, who's in the process of purchasing Twitter, actually responded to this specific thread, especially when it came to the targeted harassment and attacks on the creators of Libs of TikTok, leaving Elon Musk asking why to the official Twitter account. This as Elon Musk is set to address all of Twitter's employees for the first time in an all-hands-on meeting where Twitter employees will be able to ask Elon Musk anything they want. Now, I think it's fair to say, and there's even many scholarly papers proving this, that when you have a suppression of speech, censorship, you not only destroy political discourse, but at the same time, you also push people to more radical ideas, forcing people to double down on their original ideas. And this could be why there has been so much political disharmony, because of big tech social media algorithms that have not only been creating echo chambers, but emboldening people on their most craziest radical beliefs. All of this, you could pinpoint directly on the intervention of big tech social media, which in many times has prioritized profit profits over, of course, social cohesion, as many people argue that it is leading to the breakdown of our modern society, to the point where many people are warning about a civil conflict internally here in the United States between political factions. This as even progressive Democrat Jamal Bowman of the Squad is warning that if Republicans win in this upcoming midterm election, there will be an internal civil conflict. Some would say that these are hyperbolic statements. Others would say that they are a caution against the reality of our current disenfranchised society. Where do you stand on this particular issue? Well, let me know down in the comment section below. Press 1, hyperbolic, nonsensical nonsense. 2, an absolute reality that's unavoidable. It'll be interesting to see the poll conducted in the chat room, as of course conflicts are very easy to start and very hard to finish. And if history tells us anything, it tells us this very important lesson. This is why from the very beginning, when it came to the conflict unfolding in Ukraine, I have been warning about it for years, trying to breathe some logical sense into this illogical, hyper dangerous situation. The corporate media was telling you, oh, it's just going to be a short conflict. It's going to be a few days. We told you that was not the case. It's probably going to be lasting a very long time, especially with the latest escalations, as we are finding out today that Ukraine has just launched a strike within 40 miles inside of Russia at a specific military base. This, of course, is going to be seen as a very serious escalation, as, of course, Ukraine is demanding 500 tanks, 300 rocket systems, 1,000 howitzers, which they promise if they receive, they could beat the Russians, as right now they are sustaining a lot of life loss of their troops, even in some specific instances telling them to surrender or die. Now, will the United States, will NATO, will the rest of the world supply Ukraine with this weaponry? Well, that's a question that's worth asking, as of course we've been documenting how they were armed, specifically to the point of prolonging this conflict, rather to the point of having a decisive victory here. Lots of key equipment has been missing, key components to it that would be a game changer in this absolute situation that weren't given to the Ukrainians. This, as some Pentagon officials still believe that the president of Russia wants to take all of Ukraine, as many researchers and political scholars are warning that a nuclear weapon strike is more likely, more than any time since the Cold War, as of course the situation becomes more serious and desperate by the day there, as of course the Pentagon says that it will continue to arm Ukraine for years to come, as a lot of people, including myself, expect this conflict to be prolonged for many years. A perpetual proxy war between the East and the West. This, as here in the United States, Biden looks like he's going to be making a key geopolitical move that's going to be favoring the East, as he is, quote, leaning towards lifting tariffs on China that were put on there by the former president of the United States. This, as we're also finding out today, according to Bloomberg, that the Biden administration is quietly urging companies to purchase Russian fertilizer. Why is he doing this? Well, that's because there's a huge financial problem that is, again, categorized as the Great Reset that we've been talking about for a very long time. We're going to go into a deep dive into this specific issue. Also, the latest surprising news coming out of Canada, all specifically on a new video later on today on LukeUncensored.com. As soon as this video is done, our members area video should be available. We are launching yet another new members only shirt at cost available for you today later on as well. We have a forum, we have 3 master classes, and today we are going to be giving out tickets for an event upcoming this June 25th in New York City, including James O'Keefe, Cornel West, Zuby, Ryan Long, Tulsi Gabbard, Tim Pool, myself included. Tickets to the events are available for purchase if you are a member of LukeUncensored.com. We will be giving out free tickets to members. So if you're in New York City or plan on being in New York City, which I never thought I would say ever, you can either buy tickets or sign up to LukeUncensored.com, where we will be giving out free tickets to this huge event put on by Minds.com. Again, check out their official website for more information. Free tickets, once again, only for members on LukeUncensored.com. I'll see you there with the details for that later on today with the latest video that we're going to be releasing right after this one. See you there. Now, for a number of years now, I've been screaming about this larger upcoming economic storm headed our way that's going to be unavoidable, and we're seeing the first initial accounts of this, which has implications not just at the gas pump, but especially when it comes to the Great Reset green energy policies that are being instituted, this is going to have ramifications and consequences for a lot of your life, including the flip-flop Starbucks drinking limousine liberals who won't be able to charge their Teslas because of roving blackouts and brownouts that already are happening all over the world, especially in major cities. This has previously happened within the last few years in New York City, in Los Angeles, in Australia. Right now, millions of people have nearly avoided an entire blackout, even though Australia has a lot of coal and gas resources. This as the government there is taking coal power stations offline, selling a lot of its gas and energy to Europe, and according to some people, deliberately engineering an energy crisis, which they're going to be blaming on a lack of green energy development, which is going to create a crisis that the solution is going to work in their favor for. We also have to understand that this possibility could happen here in the United States, where just recently Texas had massive energy grid shortages. We're finding out that in places like Illinois, electricity could go up as much as 50%. This, as of course, there's a major push for people to use more electricity that usually is generated from coal or natural gas, nuclear power if we're lucky. And we have to understand here, energy and denying it to people is one of the key transitions that a lot of insane people see as an important one, all in the name of reducing carbon. This has been pushed on by this Biden administration to the point where we are dealing with this current energy and financial crisis because of those specific policies. And there's even a Biden advisor who is saying that social media companies need to silence anyone who criticizes this larger green energy transition that we are all seeing. This transition will see a lot of havoc, we'll see a huge transfer of wealth, and we'll see skyrocketing energy prices according to many financial experts, because only when energy is expensive, then you could squeeze the population in, of course, consuming less. And that's the overall goal here. That's the goal that they've been talking about in their UN 2030 vision, in their Great Reset Build Back Better agenda. This is why a lot of people think they deliberately shut down the global economy 2.5 years ago as a way to, of course, disrupt the larger financial calamities that have been engineered, that have been designed as a way to eliminate the carbon. And now we're dealing with the consequences of that, as of course there are supply chain shortages right now with sanitary products for women, whatever you may call women. Who knows? That's another big distraction. As of course, I think it's fair to say that we are seeing the deliberate destruction of any potential economic prosperity for the future. I think it's fair to say that this is being done deliberately, especially with the policies instituted by the Biden administration that is literally trying to divert all kind of responsibility on the president of Russia and the former president of the United States. As of course, Biden just came out publicly and said through his White House spokesperson that we are going through a historic economic boom, even though financially we are absolutely being obliterated in all forms of the market. Not just the dollar market, not just the stock market, which is going down dramatically, but also the crypto market, as Coinbase just announced that they're laying off 18% of their workforce and preparing for a recession. The Winklevoss twins just lost $2 billion each, as even some of the world's richest people are feeling the heat, as they have lost $1.4 trillion in 2022 so far, according to some estimates. As of course, I think it's fair to say that we are facing a major economic hurricane that we are only seeing the beginnings of. Again, we warned you. We were telling you how to prepare on lookuncensored.com. Expect the price of food, the price of meat to go up dramatically, and understand that all of this could have been prevented. Individuals like Ron Paul, independent media, has been warning you about this, has been telling you to prepare, because all the signs are on the wall that they are deliberately doing this, causing financial pain and havoc, creating chaos so they could have order out of it, the order which directly benefits and works in their particular favor, as they have this crazy view that they need to eliminate large swaths of the population. What better way to do that than, of course, cut off their access to resources and ability to have any kind of financial freedom? It didn't have to be this way. And I think it's only this way because of ignorance, which I try to fight every single day. And if you thought I did an okay job at that today in this particular video, share it with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever. I can't tell you how important this is, especially with the craziness happening with the fact checkers, with the censors, with the algorithms. One of the only ways that these videos get out there to the general public is by you actively participating and sharing them with your friends, family members, strangers. Someone messages you, doesn't matter. Double click this URL, send it to them, and because you do, I'm here. If you disliked anything I said, if you disagreed with any of my opinions, let me know why down in the comments section below. I always appreciate the constructive criticism. You disliked the video, click dislike. I could still see them. You can't, which sucks. I think you should. But anyway, I got one more video to shoot on LukeUncensored.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more here on wearechange.org.